Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. So today is First Impressions Day. My first impressions of this. This is a HongDian Steel nib. That's all it's been described as. It was a gift from my wife as part of my Inky Countdown. Join me now down on the table. We'll take a look at the pen, do some size comparisons, we'll pop some ink into it, do a writing sample, then I'll give you my thoughts on this pen. Welcome down to the table. So here we've got it, today's pen, the HongDian Steel. Don't know if there's another model name for it. The listing on AliExpress just said HongDian Steel. Reminds me very much of a Parker pen, but a little bit thinner than the ones I've got. Let's take a walk through the body. So at the top, we've got a flat top there. Looks like there's a disc in here, but that could just be down to the way that we've got that engraving. We come down, then we come down, and we've got the clip. The clip, fairly rectangular in shape there. We've got a little logo down here, which I'm assuming is the HongDian logo. There we go, try and get that in the center of the camera. The cap, we're tapering out. It seems quite a steep taper till we get to near the bottom of that clip. Then we go straight, and we've got here a seam. We've got here a seam between the body and the cap. I can feel it, but it's very hard to actually see. The body then, we've got the same width for about maybe 2 centimeters. Then we start to taper down. We get near the end, that taper gets a little bit steeper. And then we've got, at the bottom, we've got another flat bottom. All in all, quite nice looking. It's very classic, it's very simple. The cap, it comes off in half, about 1.5 turns, so really good there, really pleased with that. Then that reveals a metal section. This metal section we have got here, hopefully the camera can pick these up. We've got some like little grooves, so it gives you a little bit of texture to stop your fingers from slipping. And then that reveals the nib. Fairly small nib, very simple. So we've got a border, and then below the breather hole we've got that HongDian logo. The thing that makes this pen different, I'm going to turn it over, is the nib. This is a 1.0 millimeter bent nib. So it's going to be interesting to see how that writes once we get the ink in it and do our writing sample. The body comes off. That reveals a converter. Converter disc come with the pen. Let's pop that back. As I've already said a couple of times, it's a very simple looking pen. Let's swap on over and we'll do some size comparisons. Here we've got my standard size comparisons. We've got the Pilot Metropolitan, the Lamy Safari. Lengthwise, with a cap on, all three pens very, very similar. The HongDian Steel, I would say, is definitely narrower than the Safari and narrower than what I'm seeing with the Metropolitan. So bear that in mind if you don't like those narrower pens. This may not be a pen for you. Let's take the caps off. With the caps off, the HongDian Steel is now the shorter of the three. Not that much shorter than the Metropolitan, but definitely there is a noticeable difference in the size. In the hand, the pen doesn't feel too bad. It's fairly light feeling. Lengthwise, yeah, I could live with that. I hold my pens down near the bottom of the section, and that's perfectly workable for me. It does post. Feels back heavy when it's posted. I normally use pens unposted, so most pens feel back heavy to me. Also does feel a little bit clumsy and overly long. Let's get these out of the way and we'll put some ink into it. So today's ink, I thought, as soon as we've got a steel pen, let's go for a nice grey ink. And the one I've gone for is by Colorverse, and it's a Rover. And this is a glistening ink. There we go. So can we see the glisten? Yep, there it is sat there. So what I'm going to do is agitate this ink, then we'll put some ink into the pen. So we're giving that a good shake. All that should now be in suspension. So let's fill the pen. So I've pushed the converter down. In it goes into the bottle, fits in that neck really well. Going to try and turn this slightly so you can hopefully see the ink coming up. I'm not even going to try again there. Look at that, we've got a good 3/4 on that first go through filling it. I could have done another one, but 3/4 is good enough for me. I'll just clean the pen off, get this all out of the way, then we'll do our writing sample. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Here we've got the notepad of testing. This is an A5 Rhodia pad, plain paper. I'm going to put it on its side, makes it easier for me to write. Get rid of that. I'm now fetching in some post-it notes underneath it. I keep them post-it notes handy because if I have a quick thought, I can jot them down on there. So here we've got the pen. I'm just going to agitate it a bit, make sure that we're doing the best we can to get some glistening coming through. I'm hoping with this 1.0 bent nib that the glistening is really going to show through. So we've got here a HongDian Steel with a 1.0 bent nib. Price for this pen, 16 Aussie dollars, so not an overly expensive pen. The ink, as we've already seen, is by Colorverse, and it's a Rover. Drying times, so we go immediate, 10 seconds. $30 seconds. 1 minute. After a minute, we're getting a teeny tiny smudge coming from there. Let's play around and see how this nib works if we're looking for line variation. So just holding it normally, here's down. Then I'm going to add a little bit of pressure. So yeah, slightly wider line. Then I'm going to go across. So we're getting that narrower line going down and the wider one across. I'm going to try holding it fairly straight up. There it goes down. And there it goes across. And now I'm going to have to really experiment. I'm going to try going down. And wow, look at that. Go back to normal. So no pressure, with, none, with, none. And then there we go. So this bent nib giving some real good variation coming there. I'm going to move the mic down to the page so you can hear the pen write. That's actually not too bad. There's some audible feedback. Hopefully the mic caught that. In terms of the way it feels as I'm writing, the nib, I think because of the bent nature of it, feels at times like I'm dragging it over the paper. It's not catching, it just feels like there's some friction there between the pen and the paper, which is, I don't know, I'm quite happy to live with that. And then final test. You can see there where that line variation's coming through, can't you? So what are my thoughts on this pen? I'm really pleased with this. I'm quite like it. I mean, 16 Aussie dollars, so we're not talking a massive investment. That bent nib though, wow, that does have to give some line variation. Just look here, just from that little test. The interesting thing will come as I get more used to the pen, so I can get the angles a bit better. So hopefully when I do my writing, I'll get more line variation coming through than what we're seeing here. The nib, as I said, it does feel like it's dragging a little bit. That's fine by me, as long as I know it's going to be there. And I do like tactileness in my pens anyway. I've already shown you in the hand, but this is a nice, comfortable pen. Bit on the thin side for me. Very personal choice. I've got larger hands, so if you've got those larger hands, this might be too thin. Got smaller hands, could be that this is actually quite right for you. It's enjoyable though. It's a nice pen to write with. I know we've only done a little bit of writing here. The ink, just take a closer look at the ink. Seeing some glistening on that wider downline there. Some here on the H of HongDian. So there's that wide line. I can't remember if I was in camera or not. Most of the letters though, I'm not seeing much in the way of glistening, which is a shame. I was hoping to see more of that with having this bent nib on here. So they're my thoughts on the HongDian Steel with a 1.0 bent nib and Colorverse Rover. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. So what are your thoughts on this HongDian pen? Do you like it? I think it looks quite nice. It looks very similar to me. Reminds me of a Parker pen, which most of my Parkers are this silver finish. Please drop your comments down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.